Is this the biggest Carcassonne collection ever? Regardless of what was shown in the introduction, I would like to use this video to show you some of the expansions that I've gathered for Carcassonne. I will show you one by one and how to use them, but just to give you an overview, this video will include castles in Germany, the signposts, and this is how I store them in a plastic bag where I write the name of the expansion and I keep the components and the rules associated with them. This one is called the TollKeepers, the Fruit Tree, the Peasant Revolt, it's already fading away a bit, the Japanese buildings, very beautiful, the school, just this as an expansion, the Monasteries of Germany, which is different from this one, which is Castle in Germany and Monasteries in Germany, also the Festival, the Barber-Surgeons expansion, the Watchtowers. This one is German Cathedrals. So is it the same? Am I repeating expansions here? So we have, wait a second, the Castle in Germany, Monasteries in German, Cathedrals in Germany. No, yeah, these are different things. So I was not even sure what I had here. Then I have this expansion, which is not in English. I don't know the name, but I know that this is an entry on BGG that you can download. And there's an entry in English and also some solo rules as well. So let's go and deep dive in each of them. With so much confusion on the German expansions, I decided to start with the German castles or castles in Germany. So the rules that come with this expansion, I have the English version, which is this document here, which on the other side has the German rules. Okay, so in a simple way, what you get here, you get these 6 castles, which I'm going to show you. So yeah, this is the Rainier Castle. So the manual has the explanation of each castle, what they are, because these are real castles that you can visit, I believe, in Germany. So you have the Rieneck Castle. This one goes sideways. It's the Wartburg. You also have the Koningstein Fortress, the Eltz Castle, the Konradschen Castle, and sorry, it's out of a frame, and you can see where you can visit. Also the website related, so this is really promoting touristical places in Germany, where it all started for Carcassonne. And this one, the last one, would be this one here, Burg Bentheim in Lower Saxony. So what you have on these castles is simple. These are like double tiles, but they also have a city, area, and roads. Basically, a player, depending on the number of players, you start with a castle that you can place during the game. And you will be able to score roads and cities normally. Okay, but then the difference is that if you complete everything surrounding a castle, this will work as a monastery. So you get points if you complete everything around, and it will give you 12 points. But the same way, if you don't complete it, then by the end of the game, the tiles surrounding the castle will count as 1 point as well, and the castle itself is 2 points. Okay. If you complete something here, like the roads or a city, this is also giving different points. You get 3 points for each castle that is involved. Okay. And that's it. I think it gives this beautiful landmark for your Carcassonne game. Continuing the trip around Germany, the next expansion is called the Monasteries of Germany, which includes these 6 tiles that I'm going to show you. And as you can see, the mold is, even if it was inside the bag, the mold got through it. and is affecting this paper. So you also have the explanation here for what these monasteries are. Okay, so you can see the 6 tiles. They have these monasteries that you can see. The Malborn Monastery, the Saint Marienthal Abbey, where they are, the website, Maria Lach Monastery, Lorch Monastery, Eberbach Monastery, and the Adex Monastery. I'm probably butchering here the German. The rules also have the German side. And you can see in this kind of paper, it seems that it is attracting lots of mold. Okay. And these things look absolutely beautiful to be in the middle of your Carcassonne city. When it comes to scoring, this works very different. So when you place a meeple on these monasteries, they could work 2 ways. They could be a normal monk, which is when you put it a meeple normally and you use the rules for the monks, scoring all the tiles adjacent to the monasteries. But also they have now an option to do it as an abbot, which was another expansion, so don't confuse it. The abbot needs to go like this, sideways, okay? And it's a bit like the farmer because it stays there until the end of the game. You cannot get your abbot back during the game, okay? And because what happens here is that in the end of the game, the abbot will be scoring the number of tiles you have in a cross from vertical to horizontal here. You see? It's super strange. Super strange. We've never seen anything like that. Yeah. Also, this doesn't say, but it gets 1 point here, 2 points, 2 points. It gets 2 points, and then 4 points. As you can see, 4, 2, 1, 2, plus 1, plus plus 1 being the tile itself. We also scores. So what's the logic behind here? So the abbots will be influencing everything horizontally, vertically, and that's how you score. It's very strange. So basically, you want the cathedral, the monastery, to be in the center of your Carcassonne city, the center, in order for you to have everything around and score most possible. Yeah. Still in Germany, we also get the German cathedrals. Besides the castles, the monasteries, now it's time for the famous German cathedrals. 6, and this now is a book, this manual, which includes English. We'll see the Cologne Cathedral, so a cathedral in Munich, the Dresden Cathedral, St. Michael's Church in Hamburg, Ulm Minster in Baden, and Aachen Cathedral in Aachen, I would assume. And also you have the Dutch language, which comes after. Okay, so these things, in a similar way with previous German expansions, they look very good. They include roads that lead into these monuments, and they look absolutely beautiful on the table. Look how imponent. They look amazingly, right? In terms of rules, what are the difference? So you mix these things into the pile of tiles, and then they will be drawn during the game. And there are 2 different ways to score here. So because the cathedrals have lots of roads leading to them, so if you close a road leading to one of the cathedrals, you score 2 points for each tile instead of the normal one. Okay? But there's also an option for you to place a meeple in a cathedral, and that meeple will become the archbishop. The archbishop. Where is it written here? I saw it somewhere. Yeah, the cathedral as archbishop. So it's a different thing, which means that the cathedral itself, it's only scored when you close all the roads around. Right? So then you will be scoring additional 1 point for every tile with road that leads into the archbishop. Okay, and some of them, I think all of them have 3. No, this one has 4 roads, so it will be more valuable, and this one also has 4 roads. I believe this one has 4 as well, but this is a road beginning here. This one only has 3. This only has 3. Okay, so double way for you to score with the cathedrals. Moving away from Germany and getting into Japan. So for this expansion, I could only get the tiles, no manual, so I had to find a version of the manual on BGG. There were no PDF, at least at the time I saw this, so only pictures of the manual, which I printed, and it looks like this. I'm sorry for that, but nonetheless, if you get to these documents, you'll be able to understand what you have here. So let me try to do the comparison. So with this amazing Japanese building, which is called the Goju no Tu, the 5-story pagoda. Same way as the German expansions, you have the website to get more information and a little bit of explanation of what you have. So very cool to play with people that are interested in Japanese culture, as well to learn what are these things. Then, just following the order here, you get this building which is called the Kaminarimon. It's a gate in Tokyo. We've seen this in many reels, right? We've seen people visiting Japan and showing pictures of this. Oh, is this the golden house? It's the Kinkakuji, the Buddhist temple in Kyoto, covered by gold, the Golden Temple. I've been there. Yes, I've been in Japan once, and I remember visiting that. Then we have this big statue here, the Kamakura Daibitsu, this Buddhist temple containing one giant bronze statue of Buddha. It is Buddha there. I'm just looking where it is. Don't seem to find it. Buddhist temple, a few years later, big sun. Yeah, it doesn't say where it is. Then the famous castle, Imejijo Castle, doesn't say where it is. But I think this is the castle that inspired also the board game, the White Castle, and many other things. Very, very beautiful there. And then the last but not least, we get this star thing. Is a fort in Hokkaido, the Goryokaku there. Similar to the German monasteries or cathedrals and monasteries, yeah. So you have the option to place the normal monk, which means that if you place it there, once you score everything around, you'll get the points and you get the monk back. But also you can place it as an abbot. Don't confuse with the abbot, the expansion for abbots, right? So as mentioned before, for Germany cathedrals, this one places sideways, and then you can only remove it by the end of the game. And you will score the points for all the vertical tiles connected and all the horizontal tiles. So these buildings, the same as the cathedrals or the monasteries, they want them to be in the center of your Carcassonne region, right? The more centralized they are, the more things they have around, so the more points you will score in a similar way. So the only thing with this expansion specifically is, so when you're talking about the German buildings, I think from a team perspective, they still fit Carcassonne, right? When you bring the Japanese, it becomes very strange how Japanese buildings are in the middle of medieval European cities. But if you don't care about those things and you like the Japanese thematic here, so then you will love to collect these things and have these buildings on your Carcassonne popping up in the middle of your cities. And maybe you can imagine that you're building something that is not on medieval times, but maybe on Shogun times or Japanese dynasty, whatever kind of times from ancient times. You're building those cities there with these monuments in the middle. The next expansion is called the Fruit-Bearing Trees, and it comes with English and German instructions. Basically, this comes with these 6 tiles that you mix with the base game. These tiles have similar structures, like cities and roads, but they all have a tree fruit in the middle of it, okay? And so when you place this tile, what you need to do is you need to find you need to choose 4 tokens of the same available fruit. You see here, I just for the sake of the example, I pick the apple and you put it here on top of it. That's it. And then, you can place your meeple accordingly to the normal rules, but not on the tree. The tree is not a place for you to place your meeples. Later on, when you place a tile horizontally, vertically, or even diagonally, with a meeple, then you can do two things. One of them is called harvesting. So you can take the top fruit from this pile here, and all of them have a different number below. So then you score, in this example, 3 points. And then you keep this thing in front of you in your playing board, because the second thing that you can do instead of harvesting is what they call selling. Okay, so if you accumulate different points, different kinds of fruits, you can then sell at this point. So if you have just one and you want to sell, it gives you 3 points. But then if you get 2 different ones, it will be 6 points, 3 different ones, 10 points. And then if you sell 4 of them, you are able to get 15 points. Okay, so you can see from the example here, besides the apples, we have plums here. No, this is another fruit here. You have grapes, which look like grapes. We got cherries. You got peaches or oranges. And yeah, I see like 5 kinds of fruits, which you can then sell. There's no points for you to sell 5. So yeah, it's just what you have. The next expansion is called the Watchtowers, because all these tiles come with a watchtower, which is this tower. You see the tower here? There's always a tower in the middle, and the tiles contain roads and cities, and the watchtower is put in a way that is connected either with the cities or with the roads. So the purpose is you mix this with the base game tiles, and then once you place it, okay, you place a tile with the normal rules, but you don't place meeples on the watchtowers. You don't do it, right? Then what happens is when you complete a road here, for example, or a city that has a watchtower, then you score what says on the watchtower. And in order to score, you count all the tiles that are adjacent and diagonally and horizontally. So all the 8 towers that are around it, you score it with the watchtower itself. So basically, like for example, this one here, it says gives you 2 points for each coat of arms or for each shield that exists in the tiles around. Then this one is 3 points for each monastery that exists. Same with the shields, but you see that there is a difference in terms of the layout. They look different. There's also this one that gives you 2 points for each meeple that you have around. 1 point for each road. Same thing. Cities, meeples. So I guess there are 2 or 3 for each too. And this one is 1 point for each tile that has city parts. Okay. The next expansion is called the Festival. So this one is special. Doesn't have like a rule book or paper. It comes with a tile where the instructions are written. So we're talking about 10 tiles here that they don't have any special power. They just look like there's a party happening. You see there's fireworks in all of them. And this expansion may be confusing because it has this 15. This is no point, it's nothing. All of them have the 15. So this is the 5th to celebrate the 15th anniversary of Carcassonne. So there are several. This expansion has also several editions. This one is the 15th anniversary. Okay. So basically the power of this expansion is when you place a tile like this, you can place a normal meeple like you normally do, but instead you can also remove one of your previous meeples from anywhere in the city. So it's a way for you to recover badly placed meeples. You don't score intermediary points, it's just for you to recover. Okay. And the rules also mention clearly that you may not return captured meeples from the tower expansion. Not sure what this means because I've never played the tower expansion, but it doesn't apply with that. So you see, yeah, there's big parties of festivals happening throughout Carcassonne. As you can see, fireworks and the tents everywhere, inside the cities, outside the cities, near the monasteries. Yeah, it looks very cool. Next expansion is called the Barber-Surgeons. So there's a bit of history here with this expansion because it says that The bathhouses had several purposes during the Middle Ages. You could take a bath, sharing the latest gossip, as well as you could enjoy highly professional medical treatment. So this expansion then brings 6 tiles. They have included bathhouses, which could be on the roads or in the middle of the city, and all of them have a number that goes from 3, 4 to 5. Okay, so the thing with this is, first of all, depending on the number of players, you add up to 6 of the bathhouses in the normal pieces, and then when you draw one of these houses, then what happens is, when you score a city or a road that includes a bathhouse, you will get these extra points from the number that you see here. Okay, but there's a trick here with the bathhouses, which is, if you score a place that has a bathhouse and you would normally take your meeple, if there is a free bathhouse in the map, for example, imagine that I close the city, but there was in another point of the map this bathhouse free, then I would need to place my meeple, the meeple that would come from here, it needs to go to any free bathhouse around in the map, and it stays sideways like this to show that it's a different thing. It's not on the road or on the field, it is basically on the bathhouse. Okay, so this only happens if I have one single meeple. If I have several meeples on scoring, then I get all of them. If there are multiple meeples from multiple players, all of them go back to the player's end. It's only if there is one meeple on the scoring, he knows and needs to fill the available bathhouse. If there are no available bathhouses, he goes back to the end. So what is the problem with the bathhouses? The problem is that this is a bad thing, the bathhouses. This meeple is stuck there, and there are only 2 ways for you to take this meeple back. One is, like a monastery, if you fill out everything around him, you get this guy back to your hand. Okay. But, oh, sorry, I just hit here. But there's no scoring, okay? This is not considered scoring. It's just releasing the guy, and you get to your hand back for free. And if he fills a bathhouse that already is filled, it doesn't go back to your hand. Because the other way for you to get the guy back to your hand is even worse. Okay, so that's why this expansion is used to maybe use to screw other players. Because if you really need this guy, you can always pay the amount of points that you see here, 4 or 5 or 3, and you get this guy back to your hand. So it's the first time that I see an expansion or something in Carcassonne where you lose points if my memory is not betraying me. So it's another way to play, which could be strategically position bathhouses to screw other players. Once they score a bathhouse, they lose the meeple because he gets so embroiled in bathhouse. Oh, I love bathhouse. He goes to the next bathhouse and stay there until you pay points. The next expansion is one of the strangest. It is called the TollKeepers. The TollKeepers come with 10 new tiles. All of them includes a new structure, which is the place where you will put your toll house. You see, there is a toll house on the road, another one there. In this crossroad, there's a toll, and you get my point, right? This one doesn't have. This one is strange. It doesn't have. This one too. And more. There it is. These ones are really strange. And there and there. So the rules is you may not, when you place one of these tiles, you may not place a meeple, but then you are allowed to place in the tile a toll. One of these things. Right? It's called, the name of this is called toll house. So this is a toll house, yeah. So you see there's a house there, yeah, with a barrier. That's the toll house. You place it here, okay, and on the other side it is the same thing but has a higher value. So this means that the way you score is once the structure is ended, okay, the road that connects with this thing here, you will get 1 point for each farm, and farms are the symbols that you see on the tokens, on the tiles. There are some farms, stables, gardens. It's not just the roads, it's also the objects that you see there. Highmen, which are those that look like bandits. Yeah, you see here. Okay, these symbols, those symbols, yes. So you get the points that you see here, 1 for each, and if there are meeples, travelers, you get 3 points. And then in the end of the turn, if it shows 1, it goes to 2. So later on, if you manage to get points again, it will score twice. This one here, you put a toll, and then you may be able to score 1 on this side, and then you change it to from 1 to 2, and you score on this side already on 2. Okay. And if it's showing 2, you will score 2 per each stable, farm, highwayman, and travelers as well. 6 points. It will be always twice. Later on, if you already have your toll, but you manage to place another tile with with the toll house, you can then move this one for the new place, okay? And it keeps the number that shows there. And then in the end of the game, you get 1 point for each farm, stable, garden, highwayman as well as each group of travelers that is still on the road related with the toll house. You get 1 point for incomplete structures, so it could still, in the end of the game, be worthy for you. I found on BGG some rules for solo mode or for one person. When I downloaded this, I thought this was something that included bots and you could play for another player, but I just want to be very clear here. This is rules for you to play as only one player. You play just yourself. It's like a puzzle game. So the way you play it is that you split the tiles from the base game into 3 similar piles. You choose 3 colors. Okay, there's the starting pile, and then you only have 4 meeples for each of the colors, and you will be managing all 3 piles. You take one, you position, and if you can, you place your meeple, and then it moves to this one, place your meeple, this one, place your meeple. And then the end game triggers once you are not able to position a meeple anymore. Game ends. Okay, so you need to constantly, you'll be fighting against your own score. Okay, so in order for you to keep running, you will need to be closing structures, getting meeples back in order to continue having meeples to place on later turns. Otherwise, the game ends. And then you score these 3 colors separately here. And for final scores, in terms of ranking for you to compare game after game, it's the lowest one that will be the final score. This forces you to balance. You need to think in a way that you balance for all the colors to be counting points, building cities and structures, etc. to count points, for all of them to go up, 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 and count the lowest one. Another important thing is there are no farmers, okay? So there's no end game for you to use the farmers. It's just cities, monasteries, and roads. Okay, could be an interesting thing. It's like a puzzle. You could also play this cooperatively, so it doesn't need to be played by just one person, but it's if you are like in a mood that you need to play Carcassonne, these rules allow you to do that. Now, for something different, this expansion, which you can download entirely from BGG, it has a different name in English. I could not find the name for the video. I downloaded the Portuguese version, okay, so you can find it in English as well. This one, you can completely print at home and use it. But the game recommends you to print things in cardboard, but I didn't have a way to do that, so I just printed in normal paper. You get the rules, and you get these things, which are, well, not tiles, but you see what I mean. Is there some tokens or emblems that you'll use. Some of them are related with roads, others with cities, and 3 of them with the monasteries, okay? So basically you shuffle somehow, and then there will be one that is the active one, which maybe we could put it like this, and then another one which will be the active one for the cities, and then another one that will be the active one for the religious buildings. Okay, so that means that these three things here will affect every time you score these structures, they will affect. Okay, so all of them are different. You see the rules, they show all of them, and we can see. So for example, this one here, the popular jury, this one, which maybe it's easy if I just show you on the manual. It would be this one here, you see. So normally if you have like more meeples than another player, you have you are the one that get the points from the structure. But with this active power, you split. There's no, it's one-on-one. Like you can see, it's players just play one-on-one. And once you score one of these three zones, then you take the top of the active symbol from all these three, you take it, you put it below, and the other options will be available for the next scoring. So you score on one of them, but the game forces you to change all three for being constantly on the run. Okay, and then we can see other things here with the cities. So we have bad neighborhood, which means that you don't score some of the sections of a city. Okay, the ones that have this size, you don't score them. Then you have just minus points, plus points, minus points, plus points in all these structures. Then different, you have this kind of siege here, which is shields count one more point in cities. Pretty intuitive, right? Roads get double the points. If you count the tiles on a road, you get regardless of the size of the road, it just counts as 5. So it could be smaller than 5, you get 5. Could be bigger, super big road, but you only get 5. Interesting. Okay, these more complex ones, you have some explanation here. The revolt of the peasants. So when counting the roads, for each piece that has a farm, you get -1. So yeah, pieces like this here, because there are peasants, they revolt, and it's -1. Interesting. Then the convent of the hermits. Let me see, it's too small here, but oh, this could be fun. This could be fun. That's it. Okay, so when scoring the cluster or monastery, you lose 1 point for each piece that has a city. Okay, so this is the one that they don't want neighbors, so you get -1 point if your monastery is in the middle of the city. That should be fun. And then the pilgrim road, so +1 if the road is the cluster. So if the cluster has, the monastery has roads around, you get 1 more point for each road. That's why it's a pilgrim. The pilgrims go on that road. And that's it. That's only 2 pieces of paper. Yeah, I know it's not cardboard, but for the effect, it's completely cheap. You just print it, and even black and white, I assume. So yeah, cool. The next expansion is called the Peasant Revolt. It comes with English rules and German rules. And this one is, again, another one which is strange. Some minutes ago I mentioned that I didn't saw yet expansion that allow you to lose points. So the Peasant Revolt is also another one that will allow you to lose victory points. Okay, so the difference here is it comes with 12 tiles. 12 tiles that from these 12, 3 of them will go back to, you shuffle it and you take 3 of them without looking into them and go back to the box. So you only play with 9, okay? And the difference of these tiles is that you can see from the artwork, they have this squared shaped icon, which some of them mentions roads, cities in this case, you see cities. Others will have the symbol for roads, and others will have the symbols for monasteries. So if you look at them, they have revolts happening here. What's happening here on the city? You don't see anything, right? This one doesn't seem to be that crazy. This one on roads, we see the revolts happening. Oh, these guys are revolting in the road again. But the artwork is close to a city, This will be on a monastery, but they are there. So cool. Yeah. Most all of them have. This one is on the road near a farm. The cows are watching like, what's happening there? There's another revolt being prepared there. And this one is more peaceful. There's nothing happening. Okay, so what happens then? You draw this and you see the symbol. And then you need to look at the map and see for, in this case, in my cities, where do I have meeples that are unprotected, meaning they are standing? If I have meeples that are unprotected, those meeples need to go back to the supply, my supply. They just go away because of the revolt. And then I give this to the player on the left. He also checks and loses meeples, and all players do that until everyone has checked if there are meeples to lose. So the concept of being unprotected is like this, but if your meeples are protected, lying down, then you score 2 points for every protected meeple that you have. Okay, so now you may be asking, so how do I protect my meeples? So that's the thing, right? Now with this expansion, when you place a meeple, you need to evaluate your own risk, right? You can place it normally, and then you know it's unprotected, or you can spend 4 points, and the guy goes in protected or laying down. So you'll be spending points in order to not lose the meeple in the future, but also to score 2 points every time the revolt happens. Okay, so do your own math. You can always also place your meeple normally, not spending points, and then on a later turn, as the rules mention, if you don't place a meeple, you can then protect another meeple, just paying 2 points instead of the 4. Okay, but until that happens, that meeple, you didn't spend 4, you spent just 2, but until that happens, your meeple has been exposed to the risk. So this brings here another way to play it, which is strange, right? It brings the uncertainty here, but could be interesting. And then once you close the structure, regardless if it's protected or not protected, they simply go back to the supply like they normally do. Now, probably the craziest expansion that I've seen, and it comes here in the last, almost in the end, right? It's the Signposts. So first a disclaimer here, this is an expansion that I have, which comes with a layout that is similar to the new Carcassonne edition, which is the one that I don't have. So I guess also these tiles, they have slightly adapted artwork, but I think that they could still fit my previous. I don't think that there will be that difference when the artwork is still very similar. Okay, so what's happening here? So this comes with 12 new tiles, okay, and there are like roads and cities, like you normally see, roads here, road back and forth, etc. But there is one tile, at least one tile, yes, that is a roundabout. Okay, so be careful with the roundabout, because a roundabout is not a crossroad. It means that for you to close this road, you need to close this side, and this side. It's a 3-part road. Okay, then what about these symbols that you see here? There are 3 types of symbols, as you can see in the manual, one that goes forward, left, or right, which means that when you are building a city, right, you place it, and these tiles will point you in a direction, okay, which means that once you close the road, then you review all the crossroad or all the signposts and see if they were pointing in the right direction where the road was going to go, right? So in this example, that nothing is correct. So the signpost was saying that the road was turning left, that side. So if the road was this, then this was correct, because then the road took a left, right? Or for example, and this one was also correct because the road continued forward. So if I put here, this was also correct because then the road went to the left side, and so on, so on. And why do you need this? Because then, as the manual shows, if you get one type of signpost that is correct, you get 1 point. If you have one type of signpost, you get 1 point for each correct signpost. If you get two types, 2 points for each correct. And if you get the three types, the black, the blue, and the red, then it gives you the 3 points for each correct signpost. So it's like crazy, like crazy. You see the example here? This is like the extreme example. You have the runabout, which had to close in 3 different points. You put signposts like crazy, not knowing exactly how this will go. Some of them are correct. This one says that the road will turn left, and the roundabout indeed turns left there. This one also says that this will turn right, and it turns right. This is incorrect because it says it will turn left and it went right. Very crazy. It's super crazy, but could be a different variation for you to experience different things with Carcassonne. And don't forget, in the end of the game, you get 1 point for each signpost on your roads pointing in the right direction. So in the end, although you don't close the roads, etc., you may not close the roads, but still you get 1 more point for each signpost on your roads if it's pointing on the right direction. At this point, the different signposts don't matter. Okay, you should have already scored the different signposts, but at least in the end of the game they go back again to score you. It needs to be on your road, so we're talking about incomplete roads. Okay, incomplete roads, there's a meeple there showing that the road is yours. The signpost needs to point in the correct direction, and you still get 1 point for each. The last expansion that I have for this collection, or at least for this video, because there will be more, trust me, there will be more box expansions, is called The School. Okay, so The School is the cutest expansion. First, I could only get the German rules, but on our friendly PGG I was able to find an English translation for it, so you can also look at it. And The School is just a meeple and 2 tiles. Okay, so the meeple is a transparent plastic meeple, and the school, you can see from the artwork, it's not second edition as the other expansions that I've brought, not the newest one. It's the artwork is from the first Carcassonne, which, oh, look at that. Yeah, I know it looks very old. Maybe it doesn't look good because I guess the green will be very different from the rest of the green, but this expansion was some kind of social project because, as you can see, the rainbow over Ghana, whatever it is. In German, I cannot see it, but it was supporting Ghana. And the school itself, it looks like it's an African school. Anyway, how do you play with this? So this goes next to the starting tile. The school starts in the beginning, like with the starting tile here, and there's the teacher meeple in the school. Okay, then the first player that completes 1 road leading to the school, it takes the teacher and it puts in front of himself. Then you become the teacher. So later on, in the next structure that any player finishes, or as soon as the next feature is completed anywhere, that player scores, and the player that has a teacher scores exactly the same amount of points, and then the teacher goes back to the school. Okay, so this could be done, as you can see, could be done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. The teacher could benefit 6 times from the extra points, and then when everything has been used for 6 times, then the teacher just goes back to the school and stays there until the end of the game. No more points for anyone, and that's it. So I've lost track of how many expansions I've just shown in these last 2 videos. It's been a while. It's been long videos, but base game is here, and then these loose expansions also that I've been acquiring, I've shown them, all of the ones that I have. The only thing left would be the box expansions for Carcassonne, and I have around 7, and then all the other Carcassonne videos, the standalone versions that you saw in the introduction. So I'll be focusing on that on my next videos. I hope you enjoyed this video to the point that you help the channel by hitting that like button and considering subscribing. I'm creating this playlist for Carcassonne titles, so make sure that you subscribe to be notified of the next additions to it. But if you are looking for playlists for many other board games, I have tons in the channel, as well as for all the major card games out there. And if you like podcasts, I also have the podcast called The Table Talks, the name of the channel, which I'm interviewing people to get to know their projects, their profiles, their stories while playing board games online with them. So I definitely think that you will find interesting content in the channel to consider subscribing and to be part of this community. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you on the next one. Goodbye.